In today's video, I'm going to share how this client of mine started looking younger. She cleared up her acne, she got rid of this stubborn rash, and got healthier, more vibrant, smooth skin. The things she tried before were things like creams. She did all the facials, she tried Accutane, she saw some skincare specialists and oral medications. And while all of these things will help treat the symptoms, the problems, they're often short-lasted and they're really expensive. They don't help, right? And so you actually have to go address the root cause. My name is Dr. Jessica Swanson, and I am the founder of Elevate Human Performance, where we take a root cause approach to help you heal your gut, optimize your hormones and biomolecular health, so you can increase your health and performance and longevity. Skin is our largest organ. It is literally like a blank canvas. It really showcases everything that's happening on the inside. So if we start to think about our skin that way, it really can tell lots of stories for us. I want to share a photo of Cam's arms and back of what happened before and the after. So Cam came to us initially wanting to optimize her health. She was having like all sorts of different symptoms and was literally just super frustrated. She just kept hitting a brick wall. She had tons of skin issues, mainly, like I said, on her arms and back. On top of that, she was feeling extremely drained, like a fatigue, like she just had literally no energy. She was living off of caffeine. She was bloated all the time. And on top of that, she was having like a hard time building muscle, even though she was exercising almost every day. She just felt like something inside of her was very toxic, and she just kept chasing, like, what could this be? What is going on? I can't get to seem to find a solution to feeling better. She even went so far as removing her breast implants, thinking that those were the things causing her to feel this way and for her body to be so irritated. She had been to tons of different practitioners to help her. And, she kept trying to attack each one of these symptoms separately, and she kept kind of hitting a brick wall. So she really just couldn't crack the code as to what was going on. And she's a smart cookie. And so she reached out to us, and here's where I want to give you the information and what we did with her. Because if maybe the things that I share with you, maybe you might be feeling some of the same things she's feeling, and maybe you can just take a few of these things and implement them into your own. And so again, most practitioners or patients will see all of these symptoms, all of these problems. You'll start to take a cream and oral medication to try to fix it. But really, ultimately, we know that there is a bigger picture that we need to be looking at from the inside. We need to take a look on the inside and understand why is this irritation happening. So there is a gut connection to the skin, and you may not be aware of this. Yes, the skin, like I said earlier, is indeed our largest organ. It is the largest organ of our human body, with, I think, an average of adult skin covers an area of about 20 square feet, which is insane, right? And one of the skin's primary functions, of course, is to act as a barrier, right? It protects the body from external things, protects us from UV radiation and pollutants, but it also hosts its own microorganisms, microbiome on the skin. And this is noted as a skin microbiome. And these microorganisms play a huge role in maintaining your skin health. And so things that can influence this are things like inflammation, immune responses, certain wound healing. And so we just can keep an eye on those things to understand what is the true health of our skin happening. But what you might not know is that there's a lot of research around the connection between gut health and skin. And what happened with Cam is that we started to go to work on the internal factors, right? First and foremost. And lo and behold, the gut-skin connection really played a huge role in her healing for sure. And so we do know, and there's tons of research out there that says that there's a bi-directional communication between the GI tract and your skin. The symbiotic relationship works hand in hand, meaning you have to have a healthy gut in order to have healthy skin. And the healthy skin shows us that we're having a healthy gut. And those two things work very well together. And so some things that you may not even know that are connected to our gut, that show up on our skin, that show up on this blank canvas that we were talking about, things like acne, things like eczema, psoriasis, rosacea, things like inflammation, right? Redness, irritation, flare-ups of an autoimmune or inflammatory conditions, right? When all of a sudden your skin is good, but then it flares up, we know that there might be something happening on the inside that's just showing on the outside. And so we went through this explanation with Cam, and we did some further digging. And so what we did with her is I want to share you the 3 things that we just started out with, right? And these are some things that you can actually go implement right away to see if you can get some changes in your skin to show up as well. So number 1, we definitely increased her polyphenol intake. Polyphenols are these strong antioxidants that help neutralize any type of free radicals in the body. So It's an antioxidative property that actually helps protect our gut lining. So if you think about things that carry high polyphenols, things like berries, so strawberries, raspberries, blueberries, blackberries, cherries, artichokes, spinach, kale, onions, and garlic. From a seed standpoint, we increased her flax seeds. She put ground flax seeds into her morning shake every day. Sesame seeds. She started cooking with cloves and cinnamon and oregano, and she started drinking a lot of green tea, black tea, and yes, the good news is black coffee has a ton of polyphenols. So we increased the amount of polyphenols that she was ingesting. So literally every day she would have some fruit, she would have some of those vegetables that I listed, she would start to drink some green tea, some coffee, and lo and behold, her polyphenol count started going up, and that also helped protect our gut lining. Number 2, we started to really encourage hydration. Now, you're going to say, yeah, Dr. Swanson, everybody says to hydrate. But what we did with Cam is that we actually had her add electrolytes in. Now, what you might not know is that the gut microbiome relies on these electrolytes for maintaining proper growth and proper metabolism inside our gut. Now, take sodium, for example. Sodium is really, really essential for maintaining proper osmotic balance in the gut. So this is going to affect how we absorb our nutrients and even how we absorb the water that we're drinking. So when you start to add electrolytes into your water, it can support your gut health so that we're getting good, strong gut barrier function by having the necessary minerals, right? So I know there's tons of different electrolytes on the market. The favorite and the one that Cam actually used that I like to is Thorne Catalete, and I'll show you. I'll drop that link in here too if you need it. Number 3, the third thing that we had her do is we started to look at the irritants and the inflammation that she was putting into her body. So things like toxins. So we checked her for toxins such as molds and funguses and things like that. She added an air purifier into her home. She made sure that the water that she was drinking, not only did we add electrolytes, but we also had purified water as well. And then we started to look at the foods that she was consuming. And we started to avoid the high inflammatory foods. So things that are high FODMAPs, you might hear those words coming out, and those are just fermentable carbohydrates. So things that we started to avoid were things like processed foods, anything that came in a box or a bag, right? She was eating what she thought was healthy was these Quest chips and these Quest bars, but they're very highly processed and they created a ton of inflammation for her. Things high in sugar, so we removed the sugar, we removed the processed foods, and for her, we also removed wheat. Now, chronic inflammation is linked to tons of different skin conditions, including acne and eczema and psoriasis. And so when we started to remove these inflammatory things from her diet, her skin started to absolutely glow. And the cool part about this for her was, she started to change her body composition, but ultimately her skin started to glow again. And it was awesome because her skin felt so good on her wedding day. This girl, she would plan her wedding day for months and months and months on end, and guess what? It downpoured on her wedding day. But the best part about her is that she just sat in the rain, and she said, I felt so confident in my body and in my skin that I didn't care that I was getting drenched on my wedding day. Like that, she just said, Dr. Jess, that was such an amazing feeling to just feel so good and so confident to know that I was going to be glowing no matter what because we took care of her inside. That was just such a huge step for her. So the other thing that I wanted to share though is, you can go take these actionable steps as well. These are easily things that you can start taking action on today, just like we did with Cam. But this thing that we did with her in front of all of this, right? The step that we did in front of all of this is that we wanted to get it right for her. We do this step with all of our clients because we want to make sure that we get this right every time for each person, is we did a specific GI mapping test. And I firmly believe that this step is really the fastest way to see results, right? So you and I could both travel to Florida. One of us is going to walk and one of us is going to fly. We're both going to get there somehow, some way, but we're going to put you on the plane. We're going to do the specific GI mapping testing so we can get there as quickly as we possibly can. And it removes the guesswork. We know exactly what we need to be doing. So that specific GI mapping test, it measures over 170 different species of bacteria. And so we want to make sure that we get a comprehensive gut overview. And so we want to look at things that are causing common gut imbalances, such as, internal bacterial organisms, excessive growth of maybe certain pathogens. We want to check about our microbial diversity. We want to check markers of inflammation, digestion, metabolites. And what this does is it actually lets us understand the fastest, most precise way to make the proper modifications without you having to feel overwhelmed and without you having to guess anymore. And so When you address the skin issues from the inside out through lifestyle modifications like we did with Cam, we were able to go make the right dietary changes and target her supplementation so that she not only started to feel good, but she started to look good as well. And like I said before, our skin is like a blank canvas. It's telling us a story. And so when you take a root cause approach here, this is where you get success. So if you're somebody just like Cam, where you know just like something is off and you're just really frustrated with your skin, the creams and the other methods just aren't working for you anymore. And if you're serious about really getting to the root cause, then feel free just to reach out. I'd be more than happy to get you more information on the best next steps.